just looking at my face on camera, man, like, I need to never grow a beard out again. You know what I'm saying? It's just awful. Anyways, start 'em, sit 'em week one. Didn't go too bad. Nobody really blamed me for their loss, so I hope I help more than I destroy your fantasy seasons. Start 'em week two is what we're gonna get into. Uh, First thing I want to say is if you have a question, if you're asking me, should I start, I don't know, let me just throw some John Ross or I don't know, somebody else. And those two are you're debating on who to start. Let's say John Ross, Curtis Samuel. And you're debating who to start, just comment down below. It just makes it easier. The more comments, the better. If you guys didn't know, that's kind of how YouTube works. It helps get your video out there. But I'd be more than happy to answer any of those. I mean, people ask me just through text or whatever. Like, I get it. Whatever, late minute decisions. But if I don't get to somebody on the stardom situms, like I only have a couple people, right, that I feel really confident about, or I don't feel really confident about. So if I don't get to people on your team, just go ahead and comment down below. I'm gonna start with the QBs.
Not bad for a running back.
I mean, I went with him last week, so I can't go bad again. So Lamar's number one. He tore it up last week. He's playing the Cards. They didn't do that great, and they don't have the greatest defense I've ever seen ever. So they're pretty bad. I feel bad for honestly the offense. The offense is pretty solid. So next one is Phillip Rivers versus the Lions. Just seeing what the Cards did to the Lions, especially in that fourth quarter. A lot of their guys look gassed. So I just feel good about that matchup, honestly. Josh Allen versus the Giants. I think Josh Allen's going to run a lot versus the Giants, and the Cowboys kind of destroyed the Giants and made Dak look like a superstar, and I don't think Dak is a superstar, so Josh Allen could definitely get you some rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, and I think he could even throw the ball a little bit in this game, so, and then we're going to go to Dak. Dak versus the Redskins. That's pretty much all I got to say. I mean, he had a big week one, so I feel pretty confident about that. Next is the Situms. Kyler Murray versus the Ravens. I don't like it. The Ravens defense is really good, and I'm not even trying to be biased. It's just how it is, and it's how it always has been. So I just don't like it. I really don't. I think he's going to be running for his life. So Jacoby Brissett versus the Titans. Titans defense is super underrated. And Jacoby Brissett, I mean, obviously not a lot of people are going to pick up Jacoby Brissett, but I just don't like the matchup in itself. Russell Wilson versus the Steelers. I think the Steelers are, even being a Ravens fan, I think after week one, they're going to come out with some fire under them. So, and that defense is going to step up a little bit. So I just don't feel comfortable. And Russell Wilson isn't really using his feet as much, and he's not a big time thrower. So I don't know. I just don't feel real good about this matchup. Baker Mayfield versus the Jets. And this only is relevant if CJ Mosley's playing. If he's not playing, that's a big part of their defense. Even though it's just one guy, I don't like it if CJ Mosley is playing. So if CJ Mosley's playing, sit Baker. If he's not, I would debate on starting him just because the week he had week one. But so those are my QB start 'em sit-ems. Running backs. Start Leonard Fournette versus the Texans. I think Leonard will have a bounce back week. They're going to have to go to him a lot. This is like my signature move. Like I get like gas in my throat, whatever. I burp, and then that's it. I do it one time. I don't get it. But anyways, Leonard Fournette versus Texans. I get the Texans are a really good defense, but Alvin Kamara averaged 7 yards a carry or more, and so did Latavius. So I'm not saying those aren't really good running backs, but Leonard Fournette is a really good running back as well. I think they're going to have to lean on him without Nick Foles. So Chris Thompson versus the Broncos, LOL, Cowboys. He is a big waiver wire pickup right now, and I could just see this going south for the Redskins and them having to throw a lot. So I think he's going to be a really good PPR guy. If you're not in a PPR, I really wouldn't mess with Chris Thompson, but Austin Eckler versus the Lions. until Melvin Gordon starts playing, you start Austin Eckler every week. That's just pretty much how it is, and it's the Lions. Their defense isn't the greatest. They do have a nice front with Mike Daniels and why can't I think? Why can't I think? With Mike Daniels and Snacks. That's who it is. And so that does scare me, but Austin Eckler is just PPR god, really. Mark Ingram versus the Cardinals. He went off last week. He has a really nice matchup this week. The defense isn't good. I wouldn't even think about sitting Mark Ingram. I think for the first 3 weeks, he's a must start, and then after that, I don't know. Sit-ems. Number one, David Montgomery versus the Broncos. Josh Jacobs went off in a way. His yards per carry weren't that great. He did get 100 total yards off scrimmage and like 2 or 3 touchdowns. And the touchdowns obviously saved his fantasy relevance. But David Montgomery, I wouldn't start him until he goes off. And not even that, maybe until he has a bigger role in that offense. Like, I thought David was going to have a huge role. They're hyping him up, whatever. They use Mike Davis a lot, and Terry Cohen's running in the slot. So, I don't know. I just don't like it until I see more from him. Aaron Jones versus the Vikings. Another crappy matchup for Aaron Jones. And I don't like it. They held Devontae Freeman to like absolutely nothing. So I think Devontae is a better running back than Aaron Jones, and I just don't see it happening. I think it's going to be honestly, I think it's going to be a defensive battle. So, last one. Oh, no, not last one. Third one, Kerryon Johnson versus the Chargers. Same thing with Kerryon. I don't know why they're splitting with Kerryon and C.J. Anderson. Kerryon is so much better than C.J. Anderson. But they're splitting, and I don't think Kerryon even got goal line. So until Kerryon gets a bigger role, which he should have a bigger role, I just wouldn't start him, especially against the Chargers. They have a really good defense, so so I just wouldn't start him. Philip Lindsay versus the Bears. Lindsay is another guy that I didn't think was going to be sharing, and he is with Royce Freeman. Royce Freeman is not that great, but against the Bears, the only thing that's going to save Lindsay is maybe like catching some balls from out of the backfield, and a touchdown. Obviously, a touchdown could help, but against that Bears D, I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. So if you're in that predicament, I mean, if Philip Lindsay or Kerryon are 2 guys you drafted high and you have somebody on your bench, just comment in the section. I'll let you know. Like, say it's Philip Lindsay or LaShawn McCoy. Like, I'll have to think about that a little bit, but I'll let you know what I think you should do. Wide receivers. DJ Moore versus the Buccaneers. I honestly think DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel will do good. I just think DJ Moore will do a little bit better. But it's the Buccaneers. Their defense is kind of It's gotten better, but it's still John Brown versus the Giants. I don't like saying this, but it's also the Giants, and he's their number 1 receiver. And I think, like I said, Josh Allen will have a really good game, and he has a nice deep ball, so John Brown loves the deep routes. Tyrell Williams versus the Chiefs. Same thing, kind of with John Brown. It's just he's a deep threat. So, and the Chiefs have a lousy defense. Mecole Hardman versus the Raiders. If you were able to pick up Mecole Hardman off of free agency, congratulations. I was not able to do that, and in any of my leagues. So I think he's gonna have a big role. I don't think you should wait. I don't think you should sit there and be like, ooh, I don't know if I should start Mecole. Like, is he going to be like Tyreek's role? He didn't get any catches last week. He played like, I think it was like 82% of the snaps. So he's going to get targets. He's going to get catches. I would start Mecole immediately. I won't even think about it. Mike Evans. This isn't the biggest picture because people need to relax about Mike Evans. I get it, Jameis was lousy, but you never know what you're going to get with Jameis. He's going to throw for 4 touchdowns and 350 yards. Or he could throw for lousy. And I think this game is going to be a high-scoring game. I really do. Today, Thursday night game. So start Mike Evans. Don't even think about it. He's Mike Evans. He was sick. He's coming off the flu. He's going to be all right, I promise. So my wide receiver sit-ems. Cortland Sutton versus the Bears. Cortland Sutton looked really good, and people might even have been able to like pick him up off waivers. I doubt it. He went really late rounds. I wouldn't have started him even after like you probably had him on your bench last week, and you're like, wow, man, I had him on my bench. Keep him on your bench this week. Maybe till next week. I don't know who they play next week. This isn't the one. Christian Kirk versus the Ravens. I don't think Christian Kirk's going to do crap against Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey's, in my opinion, top 5 cornerback in the league. So that's going to be a rough one for Christian Kirk. I think maybe Larry has a better opportunity. Maybe one of those other guys like Bird or who else is that other one? I don't. Keyshawn Johnson. I think they might have a better opportunity. Tyler Lockett versus Steelers. I just don't, like I said, I feel like the Steelers are gonna come out hungry. They aren't a bad team, but I feel like they're a little upset about that Patriots loss. They looked pretty crappy. So Tyler Boyd versus the Niners. Tyler Boyd getting matched up with Richard Sherman, even though Richard Sherman's old. I just don't like it. I'd rather start John Ross, sadly to say. But I just don't like it. Tyler Boyd, I mean, Tyler Boyd could still get a couple catches, hopefully get a touchdown. That's kind of what you're hoping on. And then Jamison Crowder versus the Browns. I did not have him on my list. I had Josh Gordon if AB is playing. I made this list Tuesday before the sexual assault scandal or whatever. I do think I don't know if AB's gonna play. Josh Gordon, you should start Josh Gordon. But Jamison Crowder, Sam Darnold has mono. So, and Trevor Siemian is their backup, and that's not good, bro. Like, Trevor Siemian's not that great at all. It kind of sucks for Jamison. He could still get a lot of targets and receptions. I'm just not willing to take that chance. But yeah, so those are my wide receiver start-em, sit-ems. Tight ends. Start Mark Andrews. Honestly, these 3 guys I'm going to say shouldn't leave your tight end spot. You shouldn't have to platoon anymore. This should be a lock. Mark Andrews versus the Cards. I'm just going to go through them. I don't have to explain what they did and their role in that offense and their offenses. TJ Hawkinson versus the Chargers. Start him. Darren Waller versus the Chiefs. All these are really good matchups. Maybe not so much for TJ, but he's going to be the main target for the Lions. So all 3 of those guys you should never take out of your lineup unless you have a really bad matchup and you want to platoon somebody. I still think they'll get high targets. Honestly, if I had to rank them, it'd be like TJ, Darren, and Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews was only on the field 40% of the time, so every other one was super on the field a super long time. So my sits for this week: Jared Cook versus the Rams. He didn't do a whole lot week 1. Just didn't like it. I don't really like Jared Cook. I think he was forced into a role with the Raiders, so he's a good receiving tight end. I'm not gonna lie, he could get a touchdown or something, but I just don't like it. Noah Fant versus the Bears. Nobody really has Noah Fant, but Noah Fant has a lot of hype, and this is not the week to start Noah Fant if you go pick him up or something. David Njoku versus the Jets. It's my surprise people, but again, I think the Jets defense is underrated, and I just don't like it. Eric Ebron versus the Titans. Titans defense is really good. Like, they're pretty solid and underrated. So, I don't know. It's just Eric Ebron had a touchdown, got overturned. I still think it's a touchdown. The rules are kind of whack, but it's totally up to you if you start him. I just don't like it. I'm gonna do defense this week, but it's gonna be like real simplified. Lord. I'm just gonna do like 2 or 3. I don't know. Starts. If the Browns are in your free agency, please go pick them up. They're playing Trevor Siemian. That could go really bad. The only thing that could really help or really hurt you is Le'Veon Bell. So next one is Titans versus the Colts. I like the Colts. I like their offense. I don't think like Marlon Mack is gonna do what he did last week. And I just think the Titans defense is a lot. I feel like I'm raving about the Titans. I'm not a huge fan of the Titans. I just think their defense is like pretty solid, and it has been for a long time. So the Bills versus the Giants. It's pretty self-explanatory. Um, the sits. Vikings versus the Packers. And this might surprise people. Packers didn't have a big offensive week last week. I just think they destroy it. Like, I think Devontae goes off. Vikings are really good. I get that. But I think it's going to be like a offensive battle kind of. But I don't know. I feel like I'm contradicting myself because I said sit Aaron Jones. I just don't like Aaron Jones running against the Vikings line. But I think passing wise, it's going to be a battle. Rams versus the Saints. So sit the Rams. Saints are coming for Nicole Roby. They're coming. I just feel like they're going to destroy the Rams. Sadly, not destroy actually. I think it'll be really close. But I think they're just going to they want to just get some revenge on that for not being able to go to the Super Bowl. So I would sit the Rams defense. I think it might be a high score if Jared Goff can figure out how to throw. But anyways, like I said, leave the comments down. If you're debating on who to pick, I could totally help you. People ask me all the time. And also like if you like my opinion on things, I really appreciate it. But it's not my fault if I get a couple wrong. I'm not psychic, bro. I just study fantasy a lot. Like, it consumes a whole lot of more of my life than it probably should. Football just in general. So don't be mad at me. Like, it's not my fault if Jameis Winston sucked. You can't predict that. I just like the matchup. I thought coming out in the offense, he was going to be super nasty. I get Bruce Arians' offense is kind of hard to learn. Maybe give him some time. But anyways, yeah. Just don't take it out on me, bro. That you made this. You are making the decisions. I'm giving you my opinions. So, anyways, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to like it. Leave the comment, like I said. Subscribe if you haven't. And I appreciate you guys watching. Peace.